Hey guys, Ben Pearson, the Roaster Tracker, and today Kerbal Space Program 2 came out. This is certainly not the thing that got me interested in spaceflight, but it is no doubt the best spaceflight simulation that has been done in recent years, if ever. And to have a sequel of it is really exciting times. And so I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about what my thoughts are about this, and we'll show some of the examples here. Now, one of the first things is the requirements to run this game were kind of scary. The initial graphical card was a 2060, which is quite a bit better than what I had had. I went ahead and purchased a graphics card because it's been a few years and, well, you guys are really kind to me. But it is worth noting at least. Now, everything I have in here, I have top of line settings, 1080p, highest graphics except for no anti-alias. Generally speaking, pretty decent settings here. Just so you are aware of what you're seeing when I go forward. The first thing to note is the game is absolutely gorgeous. I love the clouds. The new Kerbal Space Center looks much more realistic. You have a number of launch complex all over the place. You have crawlerways. Have yet to even really explore everything that there is here, but it's definitely quite amazing. The VAB is huge. Why am I in spaceflight mode? What happens when I hit the go button? It has some quirks. Like, apparently we're flying some spacecraft right now. I don't know what the deal is with there. Is there anything interesting? You will easily find bugs like this. Let's destroy this. Yeah. So we have managed to visit Minmus and a few other things. I did a first view stream on my Twitch channel, and I had a few issues that were worth talking about that, it's kind of weird. You'll see all of these random little bugs in the game. It's definitely not polished, but it is early access. We do expect that kind of thing. One thing I'll say is absolutely beautiful. This interface for choosing parts, spectacular. You can group them by the different types of things so you can see what you're looking for. You can see what size of thing you're looking for. It's so much better than the previous version. It's just amazing. So let's just, 5-seat command pod. All right. We can go build, I don't know, small parachute. We'll put a couple of radial mount parachutes on here as well. And I'm going to put a couple of drogues because I have a feeling that they're useful here. It seems like they're more important than they had been previously, to say the least. The drogue is only... Okay, there's radial mounted. Good. So we can try deploying all of them at once. I don't know how this is going to go. We're just going to build a little simple orbital spacecraft here just to kind of get a sense of the game. Coupling. I think this is a large, yeah. So then we'll put a fuel tank on. And again, part selection is just absolutely vastly better. This kind of stuff existed before. And one of the things, the camera controls in the VAB are a little bit weird, but I think I've gotten used to them. You can hold the middle mouse button to go up and down. You can rotate around. You can click on the different parts with the middle mouse button and it will zoom up to them. It's pretty neat. Let's put, is this, what kind of fuel tank is this? Methane. So we're going to put a large engine on. So we're gonna have lots of oomph. Actually, let's put a smaller spacecraft because it can be a pain to get the large spacecraft off the ground. So we're just gonna do maybe about this big of tank. That sounds good. I like that. And then we'll put the Labrador, and then another coupler. And you can see, you know, our Delta V, which is looking really great. Does it show? Does not show thrust to weight ratio, which could be a problem. I had some issues with this when I was doing the stream of it. Getting the spacecraft off the ground could prove a little problematic, but that's why we're gonna go. Let's go ahead and do the full-size booster. Yeah, this tank. And we're gonna do the most powerful engine here. If I actually go to the right section. Is it Rhino or is it Mammoth? Mammoth, I believe. All right, default name is Fly Safe. We're gonna do test orbit. So this thing has tons of power. Nothing too particularly fancy here, just to get a sense. I don't know why it's asking me to do that. That's kind of interesting. Well, let's see. Can we put more Kerbals in here? Center of thrust. You can see the symmetry modes. They're pretty nice. What's launch assembly? Huh. Oh. Probably you can go through all the different options. I don't know that I like this tree approach. It's got some advantages, but it can be a little bit annoying. Kerbal manager here. Okay, we can go put the Kerbals in. So we're just gonna shove some Kerbals in. Doesn't really matter who. And we're gonna go ahead and try to launch this thing. I love the default thing. It has this little countdown. The parts manager seems to like to follow us for some reason. The SAS is on by default, which I keep inadvertently turning it off. Ooh, there we go. That's beautiful. You can see the gorgeous, gorgeous graphics of the game. Looks like the default fuel for things is methane fuel. There is hydrogen for nuclear, which is usually what you use. You can see our speed here. We're actually quite high to be going straight up. Whoops, it is. Wouldn't be a little bit of Kerbal if you didn't flip the spacecraft around at least once. That we're so ridiculously overpowered to get to orbit here. The spacecraft in general seems to be a lot easier to build big, powerful spacecraft than it used to be, which is probably a good thing since eventually the game will have interstellar capabilities. And that will be really fun to see how that works out. We'll be able to definitely visit some of these other stars, set up colonies and all sorts of fun stuff like that. I'm gonna just hold off for a bit. We can time warp. And one thing I do want to show off. See, we're in space now. It had no particular music change. I kind of miss the old music that it had. The original. But there were issues with that. You can actually time warp while you're thrusting. Not that I would do that for this type of thing. Let's just keep going until we're, I don't know, Maybe a... okay, that's probably good. So we're gonna fire here, straight horizontally, get our speed up, and we'll have our first orbital spacecraft. Again, just absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous graphics. This is definitely a thing that they have concentrated on, and it's paying off. Although, you know, you have to have a decent graphics card to make it work. I find that the interstellar planning is pretty useless. The node planning to get to the other moons is good, but I have found real issues trying to go to a different planet. So let's go... The changing camera modes, as annoying as it was with Kerbal, it was kind of useful. We can take a look at the map, we hit the M key, and zoom out, and you can see everything. The sphere of influences are kind of these little ring shapes. I don't know why there's 2 of them. The camera can be a little bit wonky, as you can see, if you get straight above it. And since that seems to be a common thing, then yeah. I guess it just has a ring for selection purposes. So we could set the moon as a target and do all kinds of stuff. I do want to show... We're going to create a maneuver plan, and we're going to say set, I don't know, Dres as a planet. That's what we were trying to go to earlier. And it will sometimes work, and sometimes it seems to have some issues, especially if you're in interplanetary space. I was having some real issues. I love the crash icon when you're going to crash. We have a spacecraft from my earlier mission. You can see we are totally going the wrong way. So if we right click here, we can actually hit, woo! Let's do this. Instead, you can move when the burn is happening, so you can get it to line up very, very easily without a chance of hitting some of the other buttons. I think in general they've done this as an, it's a huge improvement, but it's still got some growing pains, especially when it comes to the interstellar missions. I do love the fact that you have the Intercept 1. When you're coming back to Kerbin, it seems to have some issues here. Now, we're not going to actually do that for the moment, though. Let's just go ahead and swap back to the default view. We're going to delete the maneuver node, which works spectacular. Let's just re-enter, and I'll show you how that goes. Uh, 42, that's pretty good. Let's just go ahead and time warp. In fact, let's go full speed. You can see it lowers the speed for safety that you're zooming, and once you get to the atmosphere, you're stuck to a 4x zoom. So not great, but it's something. We're doing fine, I think, with our re-entry this time. Hopefully I can actually save Kerbals. I had some issues with my streaming version of this. But let's go ahead and separate the spacecraft out. And I'm hitting space and it's actually not working because we're in time warp. But as soon as I let go, then it actually had separated. That seems to be a bug, and presumably they'll get some of these bugs worked out pretty quickly that happen in the early phases. You don't see the actual re-entry lights, which is a little disappointing. It always sets it to the ground by default, which is probably more often than not what you're actually looking for, but it can be a little bit disconcerting. I really miss the re-entry graphic. That's got to be something that they will be improving sometime soon. If they could do it in Kerbal Space Program 1, surely they can do it in Kerbal 2. Let's go ahead and deploy our parachutes. And you can see, it looks like everything deployed fine. I didn't need the drogues. Huh. The parachute deployment from my interplanetary mission didn't work as well as it should. But we got plenty of parachutes this time, and we're just coming back from orbit, so it's looking good. The bottom line is the game is a lot of fun. It has a lot of potential for the future, but while the graphics are better, the sound is arguably better, the music grows on you. I wouldn't say that the game is really ready for everyone to use it quite yet, necessarily, although by all means, you get it when you can. The training features are amazing. If you had issues trying to figure out how to go through Kerbal Space Program 1, they have a whole tutorial here of the different training options. I will show it to you when we get on the ground. Okay, looks like we're gonna be safe. Woohoo! In our Crew Dragon light capsule. So we'll go to let's recover the vessel. Oh, that's nice. Could that have been better? Yeah, that's the attitude. So we'll go to the training center. You know, they have a whole bunch of different missions that you can do. Ooh. Orbital transfers. I mean, all kinds of really cool, useful stuff to help you to do better. So the game is pretty amazing. It's gonna get more expensive in price. At $50 as it was on opening day, it's kind of pricey, but it is Kerbal Space Program, and it is arguably the best space program that has ever been in existence, and I think they are doing a wonderful job of maintaining the legacy. I thank you guys so much for joining me. Let me know whatever questions or comments you guys have, and let me know what your thoughts are on the game so far. I will say that the graphical requirements are not nearly as bad as they would seem to be from the first place. But thanks guys for everything. Until next time, keep on tracking. Take care, guys.